3 seconds. That's all it took. Just 3 damn seconds for that unbearable itch to hit you when the page lagged a second ago. Your finger already on refresh, jaw locked, brain screaming on the inside, and you didn't even notice. In the next minutes, I'm going to expose why you can't wait even 5 seconds anymore without feeling pure agony. The secret mass experiment that turned billions of people into impatience machines, and the terrifying truth about what's happening inside your head. GHD now. But first, there's one person on this planet who can wait hours, and feel absolutely nothing. And she wasn't born that way. Impatience is not a character flaw. It's not laziness. It's not, oh, kids these days. It is a silent neurological hijacking that happened in the last 15 years and completely rewired how your brain experiences time. You got hacked, and you didn't even see it coming. There's a ground zero, an exact moment in history when everything broke, and I'm going to tell you precisely when it was. But first you have to understand what's really at stake here. Your grandfather could wait 20 minutes for a bus without checking his watch once. Your grandmother embroidered for hours without looking at anything else. They read 400-page books over weeks, watched 3-hour movies without hitting play just once, waited months for a letter to arrive, and they didn't feel that visceral torture you feel when delivery is 10 minutes late. What changed wasn't the world. It was you. Or rather, what they did to you. A global, unauthorized experiment that changed how you feel every single second of your existence. There's a Stanford neuroscientist who spent 12 years studying this. He found something the tech giants pray you never discover. Something about dopamine, about reward, about what happens when you get instant gratification thousands of times a day for years. He called it temporal collapse syndrome. And right now, you're already at stage 3. There are 5 stages. Stage 5 is irreversible. But breathe, there's still time. If you hear what I'm about to drop, you can reverse it. You can feel time like a human again. But there's one detail that changes absolutely everything. A detail he found by accident while scanning people who were just waiting. The brain of someone waiting 5 minutes today looks exactly like the brain of a hardcore addict in withdrawal 20 years ago. Same regions on fire, same patterns, same chemical Owls. You're not just impatient. You are literally in withdrawal every single time you have to wait. And that's only the beginning. That's the year everything collapsed. You probably don't even remember what you were doing that year. But your nervous system never forgot. It was the year one single device put the entire world in the palm of your hand and whispered the most seductive lie ever told. You will never have to wait for anything again. Instant information, instant connection, instant entertainment, instant everything. It looked like paradise. It was a trap. Before that moment, your brain had what scientists call natural temporal tolerance. You could wait because your reward system was calibrated for long cycles. You planted in spring and waited months for harvest, studied years for a diploma, worked decades for retirement. Your brain was designed to handle delay because the reward was worth it. Then the rewards started arriving in seconds, and your brain began to rewire its ELF. There's a technical name for this: desensitization by hyperstimulation. Every fast reward equals dopamine spike. Same chemical as chocolate, sex, cocaine. The difference: frequency. Before, a few hits a day. Now thousands. Every notification, every like, every video that loads instantly. Your brain is being bombarded nonstop, and it's adapting in the worst possible way. To survive the flood, it kills dopamine receptors, like turning the volume down when the music's too loud. Result? You now ed faster, stronger, crazier hits just to feel normal. It's the exact mechanism of addiction. You are addicted to speed, addicted to instant, addicted to never waiting. Every second of delay now feels like physical pain, because your receptors are screaming for the next fix. But it gets darker. The Stanford scientists took two groups: people who grew up before smartphones and people who grew up after. Put them in an empty room. Wait 5 minutes. The results were horrifying. The younger group had cortisol levels identical to someone being chased by a predator. The older group, almost zero stress. Waiting 5 minutes has become a survival threat. Your body now treats delay like life or death. Let me break down exactly what happens inside you when you have to wait. Second 0. You realize, I'm going to have to wait. Amygdala explodes like a fire alarm. It can't tell the difference between wait 5 minutes and run from a lion. Obstacle equals threat. Full fight or flight. Second 5, hypothalamus. Floods you with cortisol and adrenaline. Heart pounding. Muscles tense. Breathing shallow. You are literally preparing for war. Over a loading circle. Second 15. Your brain distorts time. The insula speeds up. 1 minute feels 3. 5 minutes feel 15. It's not just in your head. Time literally slows down in your perception. Second 30. Compulsive behaviors kick in. Checking phone. Foot tapping. Heavy sighs. These aren't bad habits. They are drug-seeking behaviors. You became the law. VRAT pressing the lever forever. Second 60. If the wait goes on, learned frustration sets in. Not just this wait. Every wait becomes unbearable. Every delay becomes a personal attack. You are training your brain to hate waiting. And the groove gets deeper, deeper, deeper. Stanford again. Walter Mischel. The marshmallow experiment. 4-year-olds. 1 marshmallow now, or 2 if you wait 15 minutes. Some waited. Some didn't. He followed them for 40 years. The ones who waited had better lives. In every metric. 50 years later, they repeated the exact same experiment. Same room. Same kids. Same marshmallows. Average wait time collapsed from 15 minutes to under 5. But the worst part wasn't the numbers. It was watching the kids. Original 1972 kids sang, played with their fingers, found ways to cope. Today's kids? They collapsed, cried, screamed. Some had full-blown panic attacks. Waiting became actual psychological torture for 4-year-olds. And the detail that breaks everything. In 197, 2. The prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, was active. In 2024, it was almost dead. The amygdala was driving. They weren't choosing not to wait. They were being emotionally kidnapped. Just like you are. Every day. Here's what nobody says out loud. This isn't just killing your patience with loading bars. It is killing your ability to build anything that actually matters. Deep love takes years. Great careers take decades. Real health takes months of daily discipline. Everything that gives life meaning requires waiting. And you are losing the neurological capacity to do it. You are being slowly, deliberately disconnected from meaning itself. Silicon Valley. Secret meeting room. Engineers from every major tech company sat down and said, "People are still willing to wait 3 seconds for a video. This is unacceptable." They saw every millisecond of delay as billions in lost revenue. They created a plan with a name: progressive latency reduction. Shave off delay little by little, relentlessly. 3 seconds, 2.5, 2, 1.5. Each tiny cut recalibrates your expectation. 3 seconds that used to feel normal now feel like torture. They trained you like Pavlov's dog to demand less and less delay. Leaked internal documents prove it. A Google engineer confessed anonymously. Every 100 milliseconds of search delay reduced user satisfaction, and more importantly, destroyed tolerance for any wait in real life. It was a domino effect. Get used to lightning speed in one place, everything else feels like death by slow motion. They literally reprogrammed your perception of time. On purpose. Because impatient humans click more, watch more, buy more. They have a word for anything that slows you down: friction. Friction is the enemy. They hire armies of psychologists and neuroscientists to hunt down and destroy every last bit of friction. It looks like they're making your life easier. They are dismantling the psychological muscles that make you human. And it worked. It worked terrifyingly well. 2020 study. Average human tolerance for any kind of wait dropped 70% in 10 years. You now have less than 1/3 the patience you had in 2015. And it wasn't evolution. It was engineering. Every time you can't wait, and you impulse buy, doom scroll, binge, consume without thinking, someone gets filthy rich. Your impatience is the business model. You are the product. Now let's talk about what you're actually losing. In cold, brutal, measurable terms, your relationships are dying in slow motion. Deep connection needs long, sometimes boring, conversations. Waiting for someone to open up. Waiting for trust to grow. You can't do it anymore. You get restless, anxious. Your brain screams, next, next, next. Your career is bleeding out. Important things take months, years of invisible work. You start 20 projects and finish none. You chase hacks and shortcuts. You rage when results don't come in weeks. Meanwhile, patient people quietly build empires. Your mental health is in FRE. E-fall. Anxiety up 300% since 2010. Chronic cortisol ages you faster, destroys your immune system, your memory, your heart. Your ability to learn anything real is being murdered. Real learning is slow and painful. You bail after 3 minutes of a video, 2 paragraphs of a book. You're getting shallower every year. And the deepest cut, meaning itself. Meaning comes from slow-cooked meals, books read slowly, conversations with no rush, projects built patiently. You are losing access to depth. Your life is becoming an endless chain of fast, hollow dopamine hits. You're busy, but you're not alive. 1980. You walked into a video store with 50 movies, 000 titles, spent 30 minutes choosing, watched one movie all the way through, felt satisfied. 2024. You open an app with 50,000 titles, spend 30 minutes browsing, watch 15 minutes of something, quit, repeat, and the night exhausted having finished nothing. More choice didn't give you freedom. It gave you paralysis. And even more impatience. Bar. Schwartz calls it the paradox of choice. More options equals less satisfaction, because you're haunted by what if the other one was better? You can't commit, and commitment requires waiting. Even darker. Too many options cause decision fatigue. When you're exhausted, you become impulsive. They give you infinite choice to tire you out and make you easier to manipulate. Here's the killer paradox. You think you want zero wait and infinite options. Every time you get it, you get more miserable. What you really want is meaning. And meaning demands commitment. Commitment demands waiting. Back to the brain. The nucleus accumbens, your reward center, lights up hardest, not when you get the reward, but when you're about to get it. Anticipation is the real dopamine rush. Waiting, done right, is literally the most pleasurable part. Robert Sapolsky proved it with monkeys. Tone, food 5 seconds later equals huge dopamine. Tone, food instantly equals dopamine crash. Remove the wait, you remove the pleasure. You removed waiting from everything. Food in minutes. Answers in seconds. You killed anticipation. Now you chase a high you can't feel anymore. 2018 study. One group got $100 right now. Another group got $100 after 1 week. The waiting group had bigger dopamine spikes, longer happiness, stronger memory of the event. Waiting didn't delay pleasure. Waiting multiplied it. And the ability to wait isn't just about pleasure. It's about who you are. When you can wait, you're saying, I am the master of F my impulses. When you can't, you're saying the opposite. Hundreds of times a day. You probably think being impatient makes you efficient. Let me shatter that illusion. You're not efficient. You're frantic. Productivity is doing what matters. Frenzy is doing anything to escape the feeling of doing nothing. Cal Newport studied the most accomplished people alive. Their secret? Long, uninterrupted deep work blocks. They wait. They tolerate the boring beginning. You interrupt yourself every 3 minutes. Utes. You never reach flow. You spend your day skimming the surface, achieving nothing, completely drained. You feel it. You feel the ghost version of yourself, the one you could become if you could just wait. Now who profits from all this? Not you. An entire economy built on stealing your attention, and impatience is their sharpest weapon. Tristan Harris, ex-Google ethicist, blew the whistle. Variable rewards, autoplay, infinite scroll, artificial urgency, FOMO, all designed to exploit your rewired brain. Your impatience keeps you pulling the lever. The numbers will make you sick. 2022. Average adult attention span equals 8 seconds. A goldfish has 9. Kids born after 2010, 4 seconds. ADHD diagnoses up 400% in 20 years. Many neuroscientists now believe it's not a disorder, it's environmental damage. Teen suicide up 56% from 2007 to 2017. The exact year smartphones became universal. This is not coincidence. This is causality. Impatience, inability to tolerate discomfort, unprocessed pain. Collapse. Boredom has a terrible reputation. But listen to this. Boredom is where creativity is born. Boredom is where insight happens. Boredom is where you finally process your life. You have systematically eradicated boredom. You are starving the most valuable state your brain can be in. Studies. People forced to be bored for 15 minutes perform 30% better on creative tasks. Because boredom activates the default mode network, where real thinking lives. But you never let it turn on. You're terrified of your own thoughts. So you distract. But the thoughts don't disappear. They just scream louder. You're running from something that only gets faster the more you run. Good news, your brain is plastic. You can rewire it, but it will require the one thing you forgot how to do. Wait. The cure, and it works. Gradual delay exposure. Deliberately add tiny weights back into your life. Choose the slower delivery. Wait 5 extra seconds before checking a notification. Scheduled boredom 15 minutes a day of doing absolutely nothing. No phone. It will feel like detox. Because it is. Long-term, no audience projects. Learn guitar, write a book, just because. No metrics. Only process. Deep, phone-off conversations with no time limit. Digital minimalism. 1 screen-free day a week. 1 weekend a month. 1 week a year. Rebuild personal rituals that force anticipation. Sunday cooking from scratch. Handwritten letters. Yearly projects checked only once a month. This isn't just about you. It's systemic. We built a society that punishes patience and rewards impulsivity. We need cultural rebellion. We need laws against manipulative design. We need schools that teach deep work instead of quick answers. We need sanctuaries of slowness. But it starts with you. Final challenge. And if you only do one thing, do this. In the next 24 hours, pick one thing you always do fast. And do it deliberately, painfully slow. Eat without phone. Walk without music. Wait without checking. Feel anxiety rise. Sit in it. Don't run. Because on the other side of that discomfort is peace, depth, presence. If you do it, you'll realize something. You're not broken. You were just asleep. And now you're awake. So choose. Choose to wait. Choose depth over speed. Choose meaning over dopamine. Choose to live. And if you want the full playbook, the exact techniques to rewire your brain, kill the addiction, take your life back, stay tuned for the next one. It will be long. It will be dense. It'll be worth every single second of waiting. But only if you choose to be there. See you on the other side. Slowly. Patiently. Deeply. Like it's supposed to be.